Good morning, YouTube, or good afternoon, I should say. Ant Gab here, and Michael in the background. We're just stopping by the storage unit on this very wintry Canadian day. There's probably about 8 to 10 inches of snow on the ground, and instead of just spending the day inside, figured why not take a trip to the storage unit and give another update on the CB550 build. There's quite a bit that's changed since the last video, and I'll go through all of it, but why don't we go take a look at the unit. Well, the last time that you guys were at the storage unit, everything was on the floor, and it totally drove me nuts, but me and a buddy built some shelves and a workbench, so everything now is the way I want it to. I can actually get stuff done in the unit, which is awesome, but that's I guess enough talking about it. Might as well show you guys. So here it is. As you can see, everything is put away. Everything looks really neat and tidy. This workbench cost me about $30 in wood to build, and me and a buddy put it all together. The motor's on there. I know it's kind of hard to see in the light, but I basically removed both covers on the side here. The cover that goes around the generator and the cover that covers the oil pump and the chain drive gear, I guess. Really a bitch to remove the screws. They were all stripped, and I'll probably make a video on how to remove more strip screws when I attempt this cover here. Yeah, all of those. Like, I don't know who's been hacking away at these over the last 40 years, but it's all shit that I have to deal with now. I also removed the generator, or I'm not really sure what you'd call that, but this is whatever this big wire was connected to. Excuse my my lack of knowledge about vintage motorcycles, but like I said in my first video, I'm going into this with very little experience with motorcycles and motorcycle motors. But these are all the covers I pulled off the bike so far. They all have to be prepared and cleaned. Okay guys, so I want to go a little bit more in depth explaining exactly what I've done. I apologize for the background noise. We actually had to close, I'll wait till it stops. We actually had to close the storage unit door because they're now plowing away all that snow that we received earlier today. So close the door. There's a little bit of wind outside. I'll try and talk around the wind that's currently shaking that corrugated metal door. So now that I can actually do work in the unit, I've been taking off sort of side covers on the motor just because I want to polish them all off, and I have some examples of them up here. I already showed you guys, but generator cover, you can see it's really corroded pretty poorly. I want this to be chromed by the end of it. You know, it says Honda on it, made in Japan. I want it to look like a vintage spec. I want it to look really appealing. I also got some more stuff back here. Side cover that I already showed you guys earlier. Again, all strip screws, all things that I'm gonna have to remove. But yeah, hopefully we can clean this up, get rid of all those scuff marks, and polish it up to a really nice shine. When I said chrome before, I really mean polish. I want it to look new again. That's all I'm going for. I don't want everything, you know, chrome like a 1950s Cadillac. It's more like, you know, just get everything nice polished so that there is some contrast between the aluminum engine paint color of the block and the engine housing itself, and all of the covers that I want to look a little bit better. I also want to show you a couple of the parts that I have received back from the machinist. First one is this brand new valve cover. The old valve cover was actually in pretty good shape, but there was one portion of it right around here that was cracked, and it became unusable at that point. You never want to put a housing that's been cracked back on the motor, and it would have cost a ridiculous amount of money to fix that crack. So this is the new one. I will be replacing the little feet here with the ones that came off of this original cover, because that will work better with the other stock internals on the bike, since everything is worn in together. And the last little updated bit that I want to show you guys is the cylinder casting back from the machinist. Here it is here. So it hasn't been bored at all. It's the original size, but it has been honed, and you can see the little 45-degree hone marks, I guess they're called, on all 4 cylinder walls. It's also been repainted in the aluminum like it was when it was new, and I just think it looks so awesome. One thing I never saw before is that it actually says 544cc There's a little badge, a little stamp right there, and I'll zoom into it in a picture. And I just think that looks really cool. Kind of adds something to the bike for me, or to the motor at least. And it's just really nice to see a nice clean piece for my my batch of old bike parts, I guess. So what are the future plans for the project, or the near future plans? Obviously the end goal is getting it done, but in the near future I do plan to get the bottom end totally rebuilt by the same gentleman who did the top end, since I think he did a great job on the top. I want to get the bottom end rebuilt because it'll give me a chance to really clean it up properly, remove all that old crappy black paint that's already peeling off. And also to replace any seals or gaskets that are going to cause future oil leaks. Once the motor's all done, I think it's going to be onto the wheels, spokes, rims, maybe getting a set of brand new tires for both the front and rear. Also working on the front brake and front suspension. If it has to be rebuilt, if it has to be replaced, we're going to go from there. And then it'll be time to do the frame of the bike and get everything mounted up, all the hardware. And finally would be electrics. And I'm not quite sure at this point what the time frame is going to be like on this build, because there's still quite a bit to do, as you guys can imagine, but I'm optimistic about it, especially because every week I seem to meet new people who are really knowledgeable about this stuff, and at first it can be very intimidating, especially when you're moving engine cover and you're looking at a part that you have no idea what it does or its functionality. But there's a lot of great sources out there, especially on the internet, where you can learn something within 5 minutes that you would never have known without actually just doing a bit of research. So I'm pretty optimistic about the build, and I'm going to try and keep you guys as updated as possible throughout everything. If you have any questions at all, of course, comment. I'm sure I'm going to be learning a lot from you guys as well, because like I said earlier, do not have much experience with vintage motorcycle motors. But that's the fun of the project. Hopefully it'll be running soon. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.